Headlines most affecting Chilliwack this week: a close call for an angler on the Fraser River, an update on court proceedings regarding a Chilliwack homicide, the Invictus Games, and what does that mean for the Fraser Valley, and Sport BC nominating a Chilliwack athlete for a major award. Alex will have more in sports. Our guest this week, Gwen and the Invictus Games, and another edition of Meet the Neighbours with Michael Berger of Chilliwack Tours. All right, Chilliwack, let's get started. It's a warning about river safety. Last Saturday morning, the Mounties and Search and Rescue were called to 3 Road in Yarrow for a report of a person in distress in the river. Now, the man's fishing rods were found on the riverbank. Locals thought they heard screams for help, and hours later, the man, tired and soaked from being in the current, actually rescued himself and then let police know that he was okay. So again, when you're fishing on the riverbank, use caution. Nominations to run in the by-election for the Chilliwack Board School Trustee will close this Friday at 4 o'clock. Now, as of airtime, the only 2 candidates declared are Katie Bartel and Lori Thronis. Last week, chillTV interviewed Ms. Bartel. We have invited Mr. Thronis for an interview. The by-election date is March the 1st. Last Wednesday, a 2-alarm fire brought out 5 Chilliwack Fire Hall crews. 2 empty poultry barns burned to the ground at a farm on Blackburn Road near Keith Wilson. No livestock were lost. Nobody was hurt. The cause of the fire is considered accidental. The Ministry of Tourism, Arts, Culture and Sports and Bridal Veil Mountain Resort have an open invitation for your comment on the expression of interest and a call for interests from other parties who may want to develop an all-seasons resort in the area. Now, this idea has been in the news since 2021. The survey is open until February 28th, and it's available on the provincial website. All you do is type Bridal Falls Resort in the search bar. In September of 2023, 58-year-old John Kavaloff and 67-year-old Valerie Smith of Chilliwack were murdered in their mobile home on Chilliwack Lake Road. Robert Freeman has been charged with the killings. Now, the family has been frustrated with delays of the court system. Now, this week on social media, they released a timeline of what is to come. A voir dire, which is a preliminary examination to determine the competency of a witness or a juror, that's scheduled for June. A 4-week trial is scheduled for November. Once a Sunday institution, the downtown Chilliwack Community Market is now on the move to Saturdays from May 24th to October 4th. The new location is Central Community Park from Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Vendor applications can be found on their website. Jackton First Nation announcing the acquisition of the addition of 50 acres of land to the reserve. The newly acquired lands, located within their traditional territory and adjacent to existing reserve lands, represent what they call a significant step in reclaiming and stewarding ancestral lands. Now, Chief Derek Epp noting the land is critical to our ability to plan for the future. Now, Chief Epp will be on the show in about 2 weeks to speak about the details of this acquisition. The Invictus Games are in Vancouver from February 8th to the 16th. They are an international multi-sport event for wounded, injured, and sick servicemen and women, both serving and veterans. Now, the Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, was inspired to create the Invictus Games after he saw the Warrior Games in America in 2013. Now, Legion vet and Valley rep Gwen will be joining us in a moment to explain why this is important to the Valley as well as to British Columbia and veterans in general. And Dale Johnson with Build Chilliwack has released some rather interesting numbers on construction and growth in Chilliwack. Now, it might surprise you about the actual growth of Chilliwack. Between July 1st, 2023 and 2024, Chilliwack's total population increased by 2,800 people. Chilliwack's metropolitan area is 126,850. If you look strictly at the population growth within the Chilliwack city limits, and that's excluding First Nations, the population grew from 100,000 to 102,300. So coming up, our interview with Gwen and the Invictus Games, another edition of Meet the Neighbours with Michael Berger of Chilliwack Tours, plus accolades for a local basketball star. Alex will have sports in a few minutes' time. This week continues with someone, if you're involved with the military, with the Anavets, with the Legion, you know Gwen Settle. And now you've got to show off the swag. She's involved with the Invictus Games, which is coming up in Vancouver in just a couple of weeks' time. So, first off, what are you doing now? Is it the Valley Legion going there, or you're kind of involved? Or?
I am the co-team leader, Fraser Valley, for the Canadian Walk for Veterans, which always happens in September. And the group that organizes that now is True Patriot Love Foundation, and they are quite involved in the Invictus Games this year. In fact, I will be at the Invictus Games with the foundation in their fan zone, volunteering for that. So that's going to be just awesome.
Now, for people who don't know what Invictus is, and we were talking about this off camera, you mention it and people go, oh, that's that thing Prince Harry does. But it's more than that thing that Prince Harry does. What is it about? Who does it affect? And who does it bring awareness to?
Well, think of the Olympics, and it's so much more than that. Because this is for serving military veterans who are wounded, injured, broken in spirit, ones who have PTSD, and when they come out of the service, they're lost. This, going to the Invictus Games, what gives them a chance to get together? They become a team again. They have the camaraderie of working together like they had in the military. It gives them hope. It gives them a uniform to wear again when they wear their Team Canada uniform, and the other participants as well. And another key thing is they compete in these sports, but essentially they're not competing against other competitors. They're competing against themselves. And the biggest thing is we celebrate them getting to the starting line. Because that's the biggest step of all. Not the finish line, it's the starting line. And if we can get there and support all these athletes, then we give them hope, and if we can, what we can give them that encouragement, if it keeps just one more military person or veteran from committing suicide, that's worth it right
This
there.
is the other thing too, is the awareness that it brings, which again is tied in with the Walk for Veterans that I've been a part of with you, and I'm looking forward again to doing that in September. Gwen, so I just go to Invictus Games and all the information is there?
Invictus Games 2025 is the website. There's some fantastic, the opening and closing ceremonies have a fantastic lineup. At the opening, the main headliner is Katy Perry.
I saw that, yeah.
And Team Canada is going to have 56 participants. But through the whole thing, there's going to be over 500 participants from approximately 22 countries are going to be there competing. And all the competitors, they cheer each other on. They're not that rivalry that there is with other games. And so it's just a fantastic experience.
And you're pumped, I can tell.
Oh, I am.
Gwen Settle, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
You're watching.
I'm going to be there. You be there too.
You're watching This Week.
So to wrap up, this week's weather is going to be, again, cloudy, sunny, a little bit of rain, and that's about it.
Hey, Cari.
Oh, hey, Michael.
Hi.
I heard you have a new business.
I do, yes.
Would you ever, I have this new show, it's called Meet the Neighbours. Would you ever be interested in being one of my interviewees?
Sure, how about right now?
If that would be amazing. I think I got some time.
All right.
Okay.
Come this way.
Okay, thanks. So, I know what your new business is, but maybe you could explain to everybody what it is.
Sure. My business is called Chilliwack Tours, and I do guided walking tours in the downtown area initially, and eventually out to some of the suburbs of Chilliwack as well. And with those tours, I talk about the murals downtown, of course, because we have so many great ones. I talk about the public art that we have, and then also about the history of Chilliwack.
I love the history.
That was sort of the spark of the idea, is that not only are the murals great to look at, but there is so much interesting history with Chilliwack, and combining the two just made sense.
Perfect. So if you're like mainly students, you do it differently. If it's all old people, you go slower.
Yeah, the pace varies depending on the audience. I find that some people, the exact same tour, it's a 45-minute tour, and then the next time it's an hour 15. But most are around an hour, and that seems to be a kind of a sweet spot for people's attention span.
Exactly.
And we get to see a lot of stuff in an hour, though.
So when you're doing some of these tours, do you sometimes go, oh, we got to go a different way, things are happening downtown?
All the time. The downtown is dynamic and things are changing. As you saw, holes are being dug, things are being patched, and so I do, on my tours, have to be a little reactive and improvise where we're going to go on the fly. Luckily, we have almost 50 murals downtown, so it's really easy to say, you know what, we won't go this way this time, we're going to go to a different mural and a different set of murals, and just have a great experience anyway.
What else should you tell the public about your tours that I haven't asked yet?
Well, the tours are really great for any sort of group, whether you've got a family reunion and all your family are coming into town, you've got friends from Vancouver coming out for the day, or maybe it's a client appreciation event for a business. We can customize tours to your needs.
So are we actually sitting on one of the murals?
We are, in fact. There are a couple of benches that have been turned into murals done by an artist out of Vancouver. So some tours like to hear more about the history, some want to just learn more about the murals, and I can mix and match and make sure that it's a tour that's interesting for your group.
Right, and so a group being anything more than one.
Anything more than one. Perfectly happy to do couples. It's a great date night. And then I've done much larger groups. I don't think they're as effective when you're hitting 50 and 60 people. It's hard to make sure everybody can hear, despite me having a microphone and a speaker. Probably a perfect size is somewhere in the 10 to 20 range.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming out for Meet the Neighbours today. This was an amazing opportunity for us. I've learned a lot. How, again, do people actually get a hold of you?
The best way is just to go to my website, chilliwacktours.com, and you will see a request form on there to request a tour.
Hey Chilliwack, let's talk some sports. Starting with Chilliwack High School hoopster and volleyballer Maya Sherman has been announced as a finalist for the 2025 Sport BC Athlete of the Year Awards. Originally with Unity Christian High School, Maya is now with the UFE Cascades. Each finalist was nominated by their provincial or multi-sport organization, high school, college, or university. The selecting committee, led by long-serving chair Bernie Pascal, included a diverse group of highly experienced British Columbia sports leaders and media members. The 57th annual event occurs in Vancouver on March 6th. Over in football, the BC Provincial Football Association announced a formal name change for the organization. The association has adopted the Football British Columbia as its new name. The name aligns with how many members already refer to the Provincial Football Association. It also aligns with the naming format used by other provincial football organizations across Canada and with many of the provincial organizations in BC who govern other sports. This includes the BCFC Valley Huskers and Langley Rams. Now, have you ever wanted to coach basketball in Chilliwack? Are you an adult who grew up playing and coaching but haven't had the chance recently? Are you a grade 10, 11, or 12 player looking for a volunteer hours or a paid position? Well, send a message to Chilliwack Basketball Association on Instagram for more information on how to be part of coaching teams this year. And over to the 2025 BC Minor Baseball Coaches Conference is in January on the 31st to February 2nd at the Langley Events Centre. The BC Minor Baseball Annual Coaches Conference is the gold standard when it comes to youth baseball coaching events in Western Canada, with past presenters like Reggie Smith, Aaron Mayette, Hector Barrios, Darren Fenster, Ernie Young, Larry Young, Dale Scott, Pete Caliendo, Dave Turgan, and many more. This conference is a must-attend event to get your season underway. Google BC Minor Baseball for more info. Over to high school basketball, starting with congratulations to the Hope Secondary Junior Girls Basketball team for their first place finish in the Williams Lake Tournament, a feat done with only 8 players. They have pictures up on their Facebook page. And the senior boys at CSS and Sardis played last week, where the Falcons weathered the storm, so to speak, picking up the 49-43 win. The high school basketball season is in full swing, so be sure to go check out some games. Now over to soccer, where the Chilliwack FC invites players U10 to U18 to take part in the Cascadia Soccer League, a program designed for all skill levels with options for both competitive and developmental play. This is for both boys and girls, and more info is on the Chilliwack FC social media. Chilliwack FC also announced the return of their in-house Spring League program, now called Under the Lights. This program is for U11 to U18 and is perfect for players who love the game but prefer a lighter schedule. Again, check the Chilliwack FC social media for more information. Now on the college side, UFV is busy this weekend. The basketball teams are hosting MacEwan on Friday and Saturday at the UFV Athletic Center. Both teams are coming off a loss but should have played well and should be strong at home. Dario Lopez on the men's side is 3 points away from 1,000 career points, a huge milestone, being only the 4th men's player at UFV to do so. And with his already acquired 500 career rebounds, would be only the 2nd player in Cascade's history to put up those stats. On the women's side, Maddie Gobile is 8 points shy of the Cascades all-time scoring list, and Nikki Kabuko is 24 points away from the all-time 3-point record. So, this weekend is an excellent weekend for sports, and that's why I'll be making the trip to this game on Friday. And lastly, in hockey, Chilliwack has a lot to be excited about, as both the Chiefs and the Jets are hot. The Chiefs have signed Cole Brown and Arjun Bawa, both forwards, to add offensive pressure and physicality to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are heading to Coquitlam on the 24th to take on the Express, and then return home on the 25th, where Alberni Valley comes to the Coliseum. The Chiefs maintained their lead of the Coastal Conference with a 3-point lead over Victoria. Now over to the Jets, which did end up taking a loss to Port Coquitlam last Saturday, letting the visitors take a 5-2 victory. I mean, a Poco goalie standing on his head and 9 penalties are probably what led to the turbulence at the hangar. But no matter for the best team in the PJHL, a week of rest means they should be ready for Mission City on the 26th at home in the hangar. Now, the Ridge Meadows Flames share the lead with the Jets at 72 points, closing the gap. As of now, the PJHL has 5 teams clinching playoff spots: the Jets, Flames, Abbotsford Pilots, Delta Icehawks, and Richmond Sockeyes. Now, the Junior Jets 2025 season is kicking off. There are still a few spots left, as they said on the Chilliwack Jets Facebook page. Now, that's been your chillTV Sports Update. I'll see you at the game. Coming up, Cari with the weather.
chillTV weekend weather. So, Cari, is this great weather, dare I say this, ever going to end?
Our weather this weekend is going to be sunny again with a few cloudy periods. Temperatures getting up to about 6 degrees during the day and down to below freezing at night. Our best chance for warmer weather is Monday, when it's getting it all the way up to 8 degrees. Still going to be chilly at night though. Our weather is going to change though late Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, when the clouds roll in, temperatures drop, and they are forecasting slushy, snowy rain. That's not cool. Here's a fun fact though. Moons can have moons. They're called moons. That's fun to say. Back to you, Don. Have a great week, everyone.
Thanks, Cari, and thank you for watching. If you have a local news story that you'd like us to report on, you can always send us a note to news@chilltv.ca. Thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. I'm Don Lehn.